Okay. So, can I just get just go down the line, everyone introduce themselves and your role on the production.
Hello, my name is Yasmine Alice. I am the writer, producer, and the lead actress in The Interpreter.
Hello, I'm Andrea Catinella. I'm director and co-producer on The Interpreter.
Hello, I'm Edda, and I'm an actress in Interpreter.
Hi, I'm Oscar S. Reeds, and I play Ahmed, the distraught husband in The Interpreter.
So, obviously, first question for both directors. Where did sort of the initial sort of concept for this film come from? And is it close to home, or is it just something like an idea that came and you decided you were going to make it?
So this film is based on true events, and first of all, the story is mine. I used to work as an interpreter, and I have experienced things that you have seen in the film. Maybe a lot worse, but it wasn't suitable for cinema, let's say. So I kind of dialed it down. And me and Andrea were one day at a pub. We were eating, drinking, and I was like, let's make another film, and just talking about general life experiences. And then we both decided that this topic, the idea of interpreters and going to hospitals and dealing with these traumas, was interesting enough to make into a film.
I think it's something that goes unnoticed quite a lot, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I haven't seen a film made about interpreters in the NHS before, so...
Definitely, I think it's a space you've broken into quite well. It was an amazing film, it was a fantastic
thank you.
production. So how did you two get involved in the production? Was you right from the start, or you brought on as the characters were written?
Well, I got a call from my producer director and the lead in the film, and she said, would you like to play in our film? So I said, well, yeah, what it's about, it's Interpreter. You can play the father, the distraught husband. So I said, yeah, why not, I got some sort of insight into the industry and so on. I felt, yeah, I can do it. I can bring the emotion. The problem is that, with the interpreting, is that the essence of the language, it escapes. And it's the interpreter's job to sort of bring the words and the answers, right? So it's edible to the caseworker or the doctor or whatnot. But most times that essence is lost, I believe. And I try to bring that that feeling into the Ahmed character. He seems to be he's getting some of the answers and the words and what's happening, but at the same time he's sort of helpless. He's sort of stuck in some twilight world, and he's getting all these facts thrown at him, but still that is not making sense. Yeah, and I believe that interpreting, it's basically sort of getting the language and twisting it around and giving to the caseworker or the patient or not. But most times the meaning loses it, they just get bit of it. And I felt that Ahmed was in that sort of state. He's sort of course, he's got a very bad subject there, he's sort of down, his wife's going to die. But he's sort of feeling what are they saying? And so the emotion thing is there as well. So I try to bring that emotion into it, and that's all helplessness.
It was quite evident that there was sort of a disconnect between the characters and then sort of the doctor. It was that layer of separation. I feel like it's a very desperate, it's a hard situation for anyone to be in, and then to be told by just another person in the room. Obviously, I've never had to experience something like that, but it can't be easy. It can't be been easy to do. It also wasn't easy for the character, especially even more difficult for you if you're saying that was a toned down version of events.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of making this film is to say that, number one, the interpreters that work for the government or for the NHS receive absolutely no training. A lot of my friends who are qualified doctors or psychiatrists, they have this training to be able to deal with this kind of traumatic incidents or how to decompress. But as an interpreter who was, for me at the time, thrown into this world and not be able to comprehend what was going on and what to do afterwards and how not to empathize too much, it was really difficult. But at the same time, I'm not blaming the patients, I'm not blaming the doctors. There's lack of resources and funding, and that was really important. And also our beautiful Edda, who also sent an amazing audition tape, and Yeah, I didn't know either of my actors, and they both sent in audition tapes, and both me and the director were kind of shooketh. We were like, wow, and
like
they got the parts.
Yeah, you definitely cast it perfectly. It was two very powerful performances and very like sides of like not only like what you had to do, but also sides of things that the NHS do. And I think it's more also just the fact that the NHS as a whole is underfunded, and interpreters are just another part of that machine that's starting to run out of money and run out of help. Not that there was much, as you say, to begin with. So question 4, Ada, obviously your role was quite different. How did you prepare for something like that? Is it anything like you've done in the past, or was this a new experience?
How can I explain? When I just read this text, this script, I really felt the Camellia character, because we just moved in London 4 and 5 years before, and you know, when you just move different country, you know, of course, lots of things maybe they're far away, but when inside, everything will shock to you.
Yeah.
Because, for example, I just thought, okay, I think I know English, but when I just first came here, I couldn't understand anything. I just shocked. I'm serious, because you know the people is talking very speak for me, and the pronunciation is very hard for me, and I can't understand. I try to catch some of the words, and I try to explain myself. And in deeply, I understood the Camellia. Camellia is of course some mental problem, but maybe when she came here, she was shocked, and she just started to feel and worse, because she couldn't explain herself, and she felt herself like a little child. And when can't you describe your feeling, you started living very lonely. I think you can't find your real world. I think she lost in this big country herself, and I tried to catch that her feeling, and I tried to connection with which kind of feeling can describe her things.
Yeah, it's definitely, you captured that very well. Sort of, not only is she sort of desperate in a way that the way like sort of her how unwell she is, but also the fact that then having that sort of, again, that language barrier, not only can you not find the right words, it's words that nobody understands.
Yeah.
I feel like it must be extremely difficult for anyone to sort of have to not just be thrown. You can learn a language as much as you like. When you're thrown into it being used every day, it's a whole nother sort of, it sounds different, like words that are like pronunciation changes, and like anything to do with like someone from London is going to sound someone completely different from Newcastle. So it's just a constant change, and that's sort of, I think, sort of the beauty of language in a way. It obviously doesn't just happen in the UK, it happens all over the world.
Just like a baby. For example, if the babies can't describe their feeling, they start to scream and crying because they need to show themselves how they're feeling. So I think Camellia is similar. Of course, it's very confusing. And I want to thank you to Yasmine and of course Andrea, because they gave this chance for me. And when we met Andrea just showed, we talked lots of things, the Camellia, and he showed me what he wants, and I try to understand, and I try to connection with him, and I think we have a really good team.
Definitely, it was an amazing, both two amazing performances. If I could focus back, not focus, like sort of move back to sort of a production standpoint, what was the production like, sort of getting those sort of sets inside sort of like NHS facilities? Was it extremely difficult, or was it sort of easier than you might imagine?
So we filmed in a studio, and this is a ready-made hospital studio, so in that sense it wasn't that difficult.
It wasn't on location, right. I didn't realise that. But sort of, how about like, so when it comes to like filming in London, was that more like planned, or was that just sort of guerrilla filming?
You can answer this one.
Well, there's always guerrilla filming, and we shot this in one day, so there is a lot of guerrilla filmmaking. We found the location, both me and Yasmine, after a long search, because of course we had like a tight budget, and we wanted, because the story is split into different sections, as you can see, and we wanted to find 2 rooms, 2 locations that perfectly fit. So, and then we had the exterior. So there was like lots of guerrilla filmmaking, but done in a proper way. So
I feel like, yeah, you did that quite well, because I've seen from my own experiences, some guerrilla filmmaking can be ends up being quite shaky. But so I think we just enough time for a few questions from the audience, hopefully, maybe, please.
Sorry, did you say you shot that in one day? I didn't catch that.
Yes, that was 14 pages in one day.
yeah,
Wow.
yes. In one day.
Thank you.
It's impressive. I've never done it. Are there any questions from the audience?
I've got one.
Oh,
What did you learn either about filmmaking or about yourself that you didn't know before?
I think it's really important to, for me as a producer, if I'm also acting in the film, to have a little bit more help because on the film set there were a lot of moments, like stressful moments, and everybody was coming to me and I'm like, I'm supposed to cry in this scene, so like let me just concentrate. What was my line? But yeah, maybe for the next film I will give myself some more grace as an actress.
a few less lines.
Excellent performance.
Thank you.
Good film, great film.
Thank you very much.
It was an amazing film. It was a great show. It was a great showcase today, and I feel like hopefully you win an award, maybe best short, maybe.
Well, we don't know if we're nominated for that, but our actor, Oscar S. Reed, has been nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, that's good.
So fingers crossed for Oscar.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, I think that is all the time we've got for this interview. Brilliant. Well done having your film shown today, and you staying for the rest of the festival?
Yes, we'll be here.
Okay, see you around.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.